Alright guys, today we are breaking down the swing. So obviously in the interest of doing a lot of kettlebell work, you want to have a pretty solid swing. The swing that we're going to talk about today is obviously the hardstyle swing. So we're going to break that down into several progressions. Now the first thing we're going to do is look at your hips and get you hinging through your hips with a flat spine. So I brought along a dowel. So what I'm looking for with this is, can a person maintain 3 points of contact? The back of their head, their T-spine or mid-back, and then kind of their pelvis. So if I get myself set in those 3 positions right there, that's my starting point. My feet are about hip width or comfortable stance here, and then I'm just working through that pattern. So my knees are staying for the most part back, my shins are pretty vertical. I'm going to go as far as my flexibility will let me go, and then come back up tight at the top. So again, here, as far as I can, and then tight at the top. So what we don't want to see happen is this, knees shoot forward, or when I come down, I lose my point of contact, which could look like any of these types of things. So again, all 3, going into your hinge, setting your butt back, feet staying firmly on the ground, coming up, locking out, tight at the top. So that is step 1, that's the mobility part, that's the hinge. Alright, so we're back. Take 2. Okay, so now that we've got a hinge going, we're moving pretty well through our hips, let's start picking up some weight. So I got a couple of kettlebells here. These are 20 kilos each, 44 pounds. So not a tremendous amount of weight, but I want to see how well you can manage that load before we start moving it quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is a 2-handed deadlift or pickup. So I'm going to give you a couple different views, and I'll talk about what I'm looking for when I watch a person do this. The first one is, can I drop down? Can I weight shift, and can I maintain a square torso here all the way up, pick up the bell, lock out tight at the top, set it back down. Alright, so I take air in, I exhale up. Alright, so that's the basic pattern. From the side, you'll see a little bit more of what's going on here. I want you to set the weight back behind you. Again, reach way back with your hips. Maintain those shoulders back, shoulders stay packed. Up, tight at the top, back down. I want you to try to find that same spot on the way down. So you got to sit down and back. So the bell's going to want to come here at your feet on the way down. Don't let that happen. Keep sitting back, finding that same spot. So that's the basic pattern. Once we're comfortable with that, we can either add weight to that or we can do a few different variations on that pattern. Alright, so one of the variations I like is a suitcase deadlift. So if I get myself set here, 2 bells, I'm going to pull into my position, I'm going to stand up, 1 weight. Sit way back, come back up. Alright? Alright, so what I'm looking for there is, does the shoulder drop when they pick it up? And does the knee cave in? Does the pelvis shoot to the opposite side? You'll see all kinds of funky things. What it should look like, if they're doing it well, is they have 2 weights in their hand, right? So if I pick up 2, very good alignment there, my hips are square, my shoulders are square. But the minute we take one of those away, interesting things start to happen. Alright, so that's what I'm looking for on that variation. From the side, here, again I'm going to step up, so I got to really sit back. And then come back up, regroup, take a breath. So the breathing pattern on all of these is the same. I'm going to sniff a little air in as I drop down, gather myself, I'm going to exhale as I stand. At the top, I want butt tight, abs tight, thighs tight. I'm not leaning back here, I'm just neutral, I'm tall at the top. So that's your basic deadlift progression. We're going to get into some swing corrections. I'm going to show you kind of the 2-handed swing, just a few reps, and then the first thing we're going to do is break down kind of how to get into some singles, which is basically a really fast deadlift. So for my 2-handed swing, I'm going to give you a side view. Rather than starting up here, what which is where I started with my deadlift, I'm going to start with the weight a little bit in front of me so I can hike the bell back or pull it back, catch it with my hips, and then spring out of that. So it's important we start with the bell here. That way we can take advantage of that first rep and we don't kind of get this pick it up and then try and get into this swing type thing. So we're going to start here. Again, same thing with the deadlift. Shoulders are packed, pulled back. I'm looking straight ahead. Hike the bell back. And then I finish right where I started.